The massive Aldarian vessel emerged from hyperspace like a silver leviathan, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight across Earth's atmosphere in dazzling patterns. Inside the United Nations Emergency Command Center in Geneva, Director Sarah Chen stood motionless before the towering holographic display, her expression unreadable as she studied the alien ship that dwarfed humanity's largest space station. "Their ship is beautiful," remarked Dr. James Harper, Earth's leading xenotechnologist, his dark eyes reflecting the hologram's shimmer. "But why send something so large for a first contact?" Sarah's fingers tightened almost imperceptibly around her datapad. After 20 years in military intelligence, she'd learned to trust her instincts. Something about this situation felt wrong. The Aldarians had appeared 3 days ago at the edge of the solar system, broadcasting messages of peace and cultural exchange in perfect English. They claimed to represent an advanced civilization that had been watching humanity's development with great interest. Their timing was peculiar, just months after humanity had achieved its first successful quantum fold drive test. Director Chen, a young analyst, interrupted her thoughts. "The Aldarian ambassadorial shuttle is requesting permission to dock with Luna Base 1. Sarah exchanged glances with General Michael Torres, who nodded slightly. They had prepared for this moment, though not everyone knew exactly how much preparation had taken place. "Grant them clearance," she ordered, "but maintain Protocol Omega quietly." The Aldarian shuttle was a work of art, its organic curves suggesting both beauty and power as it gracefully approached the lunar facility. 3 beings emerged, tall, elegant creatures with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. Their leader, Ambassador Kirix, moved with fluid grace as he greeted the Earth delegation. "We bring greetings from the Aldarian Convergence," Kirix announced, his voice melodious and seemingly sincere. "Your species' recent breakthrough in quantum physics has qualified you for membership in our galactic community." As the diplomatic pleasantries continued, Sarah noticed Dr. Harper frowning at his quantum scanner. She casually moved closer to him, maintaining her diplomatic smile. "Their shuttle is running active deep scans of our facility," he whispered. "Military grade. They're mapping everything." Sarah had expected this. The Aldarians weren't the first to underestimate humanity, and their arrogance would be their undoing. While they focused their scans on the public facilities, they remained oblivious to the quantum-shielded chambers deep below the lunar surface. The next few hours were a dance of careful words and hidden intentions. The Aldarians asked pointed questions about Earth's defensive capabilities, resource production, and governance structures, all under the guise of cultural exchange. They seemed particularly interested in humanity's quantum fold drive technology. As the meeting concluded, Sarah received an encrypted message from Earth's hidden quantum computing facility in the Mariana Trench. Their AI systems had decoded the Aldarians' secure transmissions to their main ship. The message was clear: Earth was being assessed for integration. Back in her private office, Sarah activated a secure quantum channel to Project Aurora. "They're following the same pattern as reported by the Centauri refugees," she spoke to the hidden facilities commander. "How long until the package is ready?" "The Aurora will be complete in 48 hours, came the response. "All quantum systems are exceeding expectations." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Aldarians thought they were dealing with a naive species taking its first steps into the galaxy. They didn't know about the quantum technology humanity had reverse-engineered from the crashed Centauri ship a decade ago. They hadn't detected the massive shipyards hidden in quantum space throughout the solar system. Most importantly, they hadn't realized that humanity had already encountered other species fleeing from Aldarian protection. "Keep our capabilities hidden," she ordered. "Let them think their scans are working. When they make their move, we'll show them why humanity has survived every threat it has ever faced." As she watched the Aldarian shuttle return to their mothership, Sarah thought about the battles ahead. The Aldarians had conquered dozens of civilizations with their strategy of peaceful approach, followed by overwhelming force. But they had never encountered humans before. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't its technology. It was the indomitable spirit that had taken them from cave paintings to the stars. The game of deception had begun, and humanity was playing to win. The quantum encrypted message arrived at 300 hours, waking Sarah from her brief rest in her Geneva office. The holographic display showed Dr. Maya Patel, head of Project Aurora's Quantum Physics Division, her usually calm demeanor replaced by barely contained excitement. "Director, you need to see this." Maya's hands moved swiftly over her console, sending data streaming through the secure channel. "We've decoded their entire command network." Sarah leaned forward, watching as the Aldarian battle plans materialized before her. Their massive fleet wasn't just coming to integrate Earth. They were planning to harvest the entire solar system. The elegant diplomatic vessel in orbit was merely a scout, marking targets for the Armada gathering at the edge of human space. "How many ships?" Sarah asked, though she already suspected the answer. "Over 3,000, Maya replied. "But that's not the important part. Look at their quantum signature readings." The data showed something remarkable. The Aldarians' supposedly advanced technology was built on principles humanity had already surpassed. Their quantum shielding was generations behind what Project Aurora had achieved. They relied on brute force rather than innovation, never imagining that a primitive species could have leapfrogged their development. Deep beneath the lunar surface, in a chamber hidden from conventional sensors by quantum fields, Dr. Harper was making his own discoveries. The Centauri refugee ship had given humanity more than just advanced technology. It had provided a warning about the Aldarians' true nature. "Their entire empire is built on stolen technology," Harper explained during the emergency council meeting. "They find developing civilizations, pretend to be benevolent advisors, then strike when their victims are most vulnerable. But they've grown complacent. They haven't truly innovated in centuries." General Torres pulled up the latest intelligence from their quantum spy drones. "Their fleet is moving into position. Traditional sensors would never detect them, but our quantum network sees everything. They're planning to strike in less than 72 hours. Sarah stood at the window of the underground chamber, watching engineers make final adjustments to humanity's secret weapon. The Aurora was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. A warship built not just with advanced technology, but with human ingenuity and creativity. "What about the other species?" Sarah asked, turning to their xenopolitics expert, Dr. Elena Santos. "Have we made contact?" Elena nodded, bringing up a holographic map showing dozens of civilizations across the galaxy. "Many of them want to fight back, but they're afraid. The Aldarians have controlled them for so long, they've lost hope. But our quantum communications network has already reached 17 potential allies. They're waiting to see if we can really stand against the Aldarians." The next 48 hours were a blur of activity. While the Aldarians continued their facade of diplomatic discussions above, humanity's true strength was gathering below. The Aurora's quantum core pulsed with energy as final systems came online. Deep space quantum sensors detected more Aldarian ships arriving every hour, their commanders confident in their overwhelming numerical superiority. They had no idea they were being watched. They didn't know that every transmission they sent was being intercepted and decoded. Most importantly, they didn't realize that humanity had spent the last decade preparing for exactly this kind of threat. In her private quarters, Sarah reviewed the final battle plans with her core team. The Aurora wasn't just a warship, it was humanity's message to the galaxy. Its quantum technology could disable Aldarian ships without destroying them. Its advanced AI could outmaneuver their entire fleet. But its greatest strength was its crew. Humans who had trained for years in secret, ready to prove that their species deserved its place among the stars. "The Aldarians think they're the hunters," Sarah told her team, "but they've never been the predator they believe themselves to be. They're scavengers, stealing technology and conquering worlds through deception. Today, we show them what true innovation looks like." A message arrived from the Aldarian flagship, right on schedule. Ambassador Carix's hologram appeared, his diplomatic smile now replaced by cold authority. "We have completed our assessment of your civilization," he announced. "Earth will be integrated into the Aldarian convergence. Resistance would be unfortunate." Sarah's response was brief. "Humanity respectfully declines." As the hologram faded, she turned to her command staff. "They'll strike within the hour. They always do. It's worked for them thousands of times before." She allowed herself a small smile. "Let's show them why humanity is different." The Aldarians were about to learn that they weren't the only ones who could play the game of deception. But unlike them, humanity had something more than stolen technology and brute force. They had innovation, creativity, and an unshakable determination to remain free. The moment the Aldarian fleet began their advance, quantum sensors throughout the solar system lit up like a constellation of warning lights. 3,000 ships dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation, their weapons charged and shields raised. From their perspective, it was to be a simple conquest, overwhelming force against a primitive civilization. Inside Project Aurora's command center, Sarah watched the holographic display with calm focus. "Begin Operation Starcatcher," she ordered. Deep beneath the lunar surface, massive doors began to open, revealing a ship that defied conventional physics. The Aurora rose from its quantum-shielded berth like a predator emerging from its den. Its hull, composed of adaptive quantum materials, seemed to absorb nearby light. Nearly 3 kilometers long, it was larger than anything humanity had publicly revealed, yet somehow more graceful than the bulky Aldarian vessels. "All systems online," Dr. Maya Patel reported from her station. "Quantum core stable at 100%. Neural network integrated. She's ready." The Aurora's bridge was unlike anything in human or Aldarian design. Instead of traditional controls, the command crew interfaced directly with the ship's quantum AI through neural links. Captain Elena Rodriguez settled into the command chair, her mind merging with the ship's systems. "This is Aurora Actual," she announced, her voice steady. "All stations report." The responses came in quick succession. Weapons, engineering, tactical, all green. The crew had trained for this moment for years, each chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think creatively under pressure. Above them, the Aldarian fleet spread out in attack formation. Ambassador Carix's voice came through on all frequencies. "Your defiance is noted but futile. Surrender now and your population will be preserved as productive members of the convergence." Sarah's response was to activate the quantum communication network. Instantly, secured channels opened to 17 different species across the galaxy, all former victims of Aldarian conquest, all watching to see if humanity could do what they had not. "Aurora, you are cleared to launch," Sarah commanded. "Show them what humanity can do." The Aurora rose from the lunar surface with impossible grace for a ship its size. Its quantum drive didn't just bend space, it rewrote the rules of physics themselves. The Aldarian sensors couldn't even properly detect it, their systems confused by its advanced quantum signature. "Multiple Aldarian vessels moving to intercept," reported Lieutenant James Chen from Tactical. "They're trying to get a weapons lock." Captain Rodriguez smiled. "Initiate Phase 1. Let's show them our first surprise." The Aurora's quantum field expanded, creating a bubble of altered spacetime around the ship. The first wave of Aldarian weapons fire simply passed through the space where the Aurora appeared to be, hitting nothing. "They're adapting their targeting algorithms," Chen noted. "Second wave incoming." "Now," Rodriguez ordered. The Aurora's defensive systems activated. Instead of blocking the Aldarian weapons, they absorbed the energy, channeling it through the quantum core. Each hit made the ship stronger, its systems learning and evolving in real time. In the Aldarian command ship, confusion turned to concern. Their sensors couldn't get a clear reading on the human vessel. Their weapons had no effect. And now their own ships were reporting power fluctuations. The Aurora moved through their fleet like a shark through a school of fish. Its quantum weapons didn't destroy the Alderian ships. They simply disabled them, shutting down their systems with surgical precision. Each disabled vessel provided more data to the Aurora's AI, making it even more effective against the remaining ships. "Sir," Chen called out, "we're receiving transmissions from within the Alderian fleet. Multiple ships are standing down. They're asking for asylum." The quantum communications network was spreading the word. The Aurora wasn't just fighting the Alderian fleet. It was broadcasting proof of humanity's capabilities to every oppressed species in the galaxy. They watched as a single human ship systematically dismantled the most powerful fleet in known space. "Message from the Centauri Resistance," Dr. Harper announced. "They're launching their uprising. The Proxima Alliance is joining them. The Sirius Confederation. They're all moving." Sarah watched as the galactic map lit up with new signals. Across dozens of star systems, the supposedly subjugated species were rising up. The Alderian convergence had built its empire on stolen technology and borrowed power. Now they faced something they had never encountered before: genuine innovation and the indomitable human spirit. "Alderian command ship is hailing us," Chen reported. Ambassador Kirix's hologram appeared, his composure finally cracking. "What are you?" he demanded. Sarah stepped forward. "We are humanity. We don't steal technology. We improve it. We don't conquer. We innovate. And we're not alone anymore." The Aurora continued its dance through the Alderian fleet, each movement precisely calculated, each action serving multiple purposes. They weren't just winning a battle. They were showing the galaxy a new way forward, one where creativity and cooperation trumped brute force and oppression. The next 6 hours reshaped the balance of power in the galaxy. The Aurora moved through space like a force of nature, its quantum systems adapting and evolving with each engagement. But the Alderians weren't going to let their empire crumble without a fight. Multiple hyperspace signatures detected, Lieutenant Chen announced, his hands dancing over the quantum interface. "They're calling in reinforcements from their core worlds." Captain Rodriguez remained calm in her neural-linked command chair, feeling the Aurora's systems as extensions of her own body. "Just as we predicted." "Dr. Patel, are you seeing this?" "Yes," Maya's voice came through crystal clear. "Their quantum signatures are different. These are their elite ships. They're actually using their real technology now, not just the stolen stuff." 500 new Alderian vessels emerged from hyperspace, their designs sleeker and more advanced than the first wave. These were the true warships of the convergence, kept hidden from their subjugated worlds. Their arrival would have spelled doom for any normal opponent. But the Aurora was far from normal. "Multiple targeting locks," Chen reported. "They're using quantum-guided weapons." "Perfect." Sarah smiled from her position in the command center. "Time to show them what real quantum technology can do." The elite Alderian ships launched their attack, filling space with weapons fire that could have shattered planets. The Aurora's quantum field shifted, and something remarkable happened. The incoming fire didn't just miss. It began following new trajectories, turning back on the Alderian fleet. "The quantum reversal field is working," Maya reported excitedly. "Their own weapons are treating them as valid targets. Their targeting systems are too primitive to compensate." In the Alderian command ship, Ambassador Kirix watched in horror as his elite fleet's weapons turned against them. "Impossible," he whispered. "No species has ever mastered quantum field manipulation at this level." The Aurora's AI spoke directly to the command crew through their neural links. New attack pattern analyzed. Implementing countermeasures. Permission to execute protocol Sunburst. Granted, Rodriguez and Sarah said simultaneously. The Aurora's quantum core pulsed, and a wave of invisible energy rippled out through space. Wherever it touched an Alderian ship, their quantum systems simply stopped. No destruction, no explosion. Their advanced technology simply ceased to function. "How?" Kirix demanded over the still-functioning communication channels. "You were supposed to be primitive. We watched you for decades. You watched what we wanted you to see, Sarah replied. While you were stealing technology from other species, we were learning, innovating, creating. The Centauri didn't crash on Earth by accident. They chose us. They showed us what you really were, and we spent 10 years preparing. Throughout the solar system, quantum communication buoys activated, broadcasting the battle to every corner of the galaxy. Species that had lived under Alderian control for generations watched as humanity's single ship systematically dismantled the most powerful fleet in known space. Sir, Chen called out, we're receiving transmissions from across the galaxy. The Proxima colonies have overthrown their Alderian overlords. The Sirius Confederation has reclaimed their shipyards. The Centauri, they've taken back their homeworld. The Aurora continued its work, methodically disabling ship after ship. Its quantum weapons left the vessels intact but powerless, saving thousands of lives while demonstrating humanity's technological superiority. This wasn't just a victory, it was a revolution in warfare. Message from Earth Defense Command, Chen announced. The quantum network is picking up similar uprisings in 37 star systems. The Alderian convergence is falling apart. In the command center, Sarah watched the galactic map transform. Points of light representing freed systems bloomed across the display, forming new connections, establishing new alliances. The Alderians' carefully constructed empire of fear was crumbling in real time. Final wave of enemy ships approaching, Rodriguez reported. They've adjusted their quantum signatures again. They're learning. Good, Sarah replied. So are we. The Aurora's AI had been analyzing every moment of the battle, every weapon signature, every shield frequency. It had evolved more in these few hours than in all its years of testing. The quantum core hummed with power as it prepared to meet the final Alderian assault. All hands, Rodriguez called out, prepare for final engagement. Let's show them why humanity never stopped reaching for the stars. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. Not for its destruction or its body count, but for how it demonstrated that superior technology alone wasn't enough. Innovation, creativity, and the indomitable human spirit had overcome an empire that had dominated the galaxy for generations. And as the last Alderian ship fell silent, its quantum systems disabled by the Aurora's advanced technology, a new era in galactic history began, one where cooperation would replace conquest and innovation would triumph over intimidation. 1 month after the Battle of Sol, representatives from 43 formerly subjugated species gathered in the newly constructed quantum assembly on Luna. The massive chamber, built with a combination of human and alien technology, hummed with excited conversation in dozens of languages as delegates prepared to forge a new future. Sarah Chen stood at the observation window, watching Earth rise over the lunar horizon. The Aurora floated in high orbit, its quantum field shimming slightly in the sunlight, a reminder of how much had changed in so little time. Hard to believe it's only been a month, Dr. Harper said, joining her at the window. The Alderians controlled this sector of space for 3 centuries. Now we all have a chance to build something better, Sarah finished. She turned as Captain Rodriguez approached, still wearing her neural interface crown, the mark of an Aurora commander. The last holdout systems have reported in, Rodriguez announced. The Alderian leadership has surrendered completely. Their quantum technology has been deactivated across all their remaining territories. The fall of the Alderian convergence had been surprisingly bloodless. Once their technological advantage was neutralized by the Aurora's quantum systems, most of their subject worlds had simply stopped obeying them. Centuries of oppression had been maintained by fear and superior technology, both now gone. What about the Alderian people? Sarah asked. Despite everything, she was determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. Most of them didn't even know what their leadership was doing. Dr. Maya Patel replied, joining the group. They believed the propaganda about protecting lesser species. When the truth was broadcast through the quantum network, she shrugged. They're asking to join the assembly as equals. The main chamber began to fill as delegates took their seats. Each species had brought their own technological contributions. The Centauri shared their advanced biotech. The Sirius Confederation offered their expertise in stellar engineering. The Proxima colonies brought revolutionary terraforming techniques. But it was humanity's quantum technology that had changed everything. Not just its military applications, but its potential for communication, travel, and understanding the universe itself. Ambassador Carrix, now serving as a simple delegate from his people, approached Sarah. He looked smaller somehow, his former arrogance replaced by something approaching wisdom. "I still don't understand," he said quietly. "How did you advance so quickly? We watched you for so long." Sarah smiled. "That's exactly why you failed. You watched us, but you never understood us. Humans don't just adapt to challenges. We thrive on them. We don't just copy technology. We reimagine it. Every time we faced an obstacle, we grew stronger." The assembly chamber quieted as Earth's delegation took the stage. The quantum translators hummed to life, ensuring every word would be understood by all. "For centuries," Sarah began, "the galaxy was ruled by fear and technological superiority. Today, we propose something different. Not an empire, not a convergence, but a true alliance. Each species contributing its strengths, each maintaining its independence, all working together to explore and understand our universe." The quantum network carried her words to every liberated world. Trillions of beings watched as humanity, the youngest spacefaring race present, laid out a vision for the future. "The Aurora wasn't just a warship," she continued. "It was proof that innovation and cooperation are stronger than domination and fear. Its quantum technology doesn't belong to humanity alone. It belongs to all of us. Together, we can use it to build something unprecedented in galactic history, a civilization based on mutual growth and discovery." One by one, the delegates stood. Species that had been enemies under Aldarian rule now faced each other as equals. The quantum network pulsed with messages of support from thousands of worlds. In her private thoughts, Sarah reflected on how far they'd come. The Aldarians had thought they were dealing with a primitive species, easy to conquer and subjugate. Instead, they had awakened something far more powerful than advanced technology. The human spirit of innovation and determination now spread across the stars. The Aurora remained in orbit, its quantum systems now serving as the backbone of a new galactic communication network. But it was no longer alone. In shipyards across human space, new vessels were under construction, each incorporating innovations and improvements suggested by their new allies. As the assembly's first session began, Sarah looked out at the sea of diverse faces, human, alien, and everything in between. The Aldarians had tried to create unity through force. Humanity had shown the galaxy a better way. Unity through innovation, cooperation, and an unshakable determination to reach for the stars. The age of conquest was over. The age of discovery had begun.